Several items. We are in the process, we've engaged App Studio, local business in Clifton Forge, to upgrade the county website. They are doing that work, and we should roll out with most of the constitutional officers included within the next couple months. And DSS included in that process. In the next probably 4 to 5 weeks, roll out a new, more user-friendly website. I'd also ask you to consider adding an item to your agenda and potentially taking action on it tonight if there's no issue. Received a note from Lisa Hicks after your agenda was developed and mailed out. Appointment for Ms. Janet Nelson's unexpired term on the Board of Trustees at the Regional Library. Ms. Nelson's husband, Mr. Denny Nelson, has expressed an interest in serving her unexpired term. If no one has an issue with that, I'd ask you to take action on that tonight.
Can we go ahead and do that now?
Yes, sir.
All right, thanks.
Staff and I are, Ms. Cox just mentioned the radio communication project. Mr. Mooterspaw and myself met with City Manager Covington, Mr. Douglas, Chief of Police, Mr. Brookman, and their Emergency Service Coordinator, Mr. Eric Tyree, last week. As I mentioned before, included in the budget this year is moving forward with Phase 3, which is soliciting requests for proposals for upgrades to the radio communication system in the county and the city. We met with them and discussed some of the technical aspects and some of the financing aspects of the project. And over the next several months and before we will release the request for proposals on the street, we'll be bringing to you an agreement with the city of Covington on how to share some of those technical aspects and the financing piece for the radio system improvements. It's a joint system to serve the area. It involves technology pieces the city and the county both desperately need, and also the financing piece. I'll mention to you, and we have preliminary financing for the project. I'll put this on the table so everybody has order of magnitude what they're faced with. Debt service based off of engineering estimates on the low range and the high range of the cost estimates range from $600,000 to $900,000 annually. Just your debt service piece for the radio communication project. I want that to come as a surprise to anyone. When proposals come in, cost estimates are developed, and financing options are presented. That assumes 100% debt. We'll pursue grant funding for as much of the system components as we can. The other piece I'll share with you is a meeting recently of the Intergovernmental Committee. Mr. Douglas, myself, Ms. Burcham, and the Economic Development Director, Marla Ackridge, have discussed the concept and engaged the Roanoke Regional Partnership in helping us develop the concept of a revenue sharing program, whereas we would jointly invest in sites in the community, and based on your investment in those sites, you would share the revenue proportionally. Part of the issue we have, especially in the county, is a lack of viable sites. We own property, we have engineering complete, but the lack of capital independently to develop those sites. I don't want to speak for Covington, but I would say they experienced the same struggle in having ready sites, be they a shell building, pad ready site with infrastructure available. We get a significant amount of leads, especially for our Commerce Center, those folks want to have a pad. They're not willing to wait for you to take a piece of green land and develop it for them. They want to be able to turn it around. That was a key piece for Botetourt landing Eldor. Having that pad ready in Greenfield. So I think it's an opportunity for us to do something on a regional basis. It'll open up opportunities for us to secure additional funding sources. There's new initiatives on the economic development front, the Go Virginia initiative. There's still some question about how that will be structured, but once that takes flight, in order to be able to access those funds, you have to do regional projects. Staff is very supportive of the concept. I don't want to speak for Mr. Garten and Mr. Bennett. We're at the Intergovernmental Committee meeting and they can chime in. We are anticipating working on a draft of an agreement for this revenue sharing concept to bring to you in a future meeting, probably late summer, early fall. And if matter, Steve, want to comment on the concept, that's fine.
I was going to say we've got a meeting this Thursday to talk a little bit more about it, Joe.
And then the last thing, if there are not any questions there, is you have in front of you tonight that you're hot off the presses, our wastewater service agreement in a draft form. As part of the settlement with the town of Clifton Forge. Part of the settlement required everything to be complete, take effect July 1, 2016. Provide this to you tonight. There's an attachment to it. It's a PDF form of an Excel spreadsheet that details the costs. Would ask that you review this, share concerns, comments, questions, and then I would ask that you add it to your agenda for June 14th meeting to take action. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.